This episode was previously recorded in front of an imaginary studio audience.
Time for Fun Knife Friday!
Hi, all you knife chatters out there. It's your old pal, Skip the Show, coming back at you again with another fantastic Fun Knife Friday. And have we got a show for you this week?
What in the world are you doing, Jake?
Oh, hi, Tobias. I'm not Jake. I'm Skip the Show. See, I got my green skull stiletto. I'm Skip the Show, and I'm doing Fun Knife Friday.
No, you're Jake the Jack-A-Lope. It's very obvious.
Oh, well, I was just trying to do the Fun Knife Friday because I know Skip has been gone, and I'm worried that nobody's going to want to come and watch it if Skip doesn't get back soon.
No one is going to mistake you for Skip. You're a different species.
Well, you're the same species. Maybe you could pretend to be Skip the Show.
No, now seriously, Jake. I know all of us humans look alike to you, but there is no way in the world anyone is going to mistake me for Skip the Show. We look nothing alike.
Really? No one's gonna mistake you for Skip?
They'd have to be blind drunk to mistake me for Skip.
Oh, but then what are we gonna do if there's no Skip? If there's no show, what are we gonna do?
Don't worry about it, Jake. Really, don't worry about it. I got it all figured out. I've got an episode that I'm going to be doing.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was just so worried.
Hey, everybody. Happy Fun Knife Friday. I know you were expecting to see Skip, but how can I put this? Skip's doctor has advised him to slow down a bit. You know, he was not eaten by a bear like some rumors have been going around about, but he has been advised to slow down a bit. Now, a lot of you don't know it, but Skip runs the Volcano Club, and he is like the chief cook and bottle washer there, and puts in as much as 18 hours a day there. And then he's also been doing the Fun Knife Friday after putting in an 18-hour day, and you can only do that for so long before you just get kind of totally wore out. And his doctor has advised him to take it easy for a while. Matter of fact, right now the Volcano Club is only open Friday and Saturday. It's closed Sunday through Thursday because his doctor has basically told him he just can't keep up those hours. So that's what's going on with Skip right now, and because of that, I have informed him that once a month, that's all I want from him for to fulfill his obligations for Fun Knife Friday, because I know the video is only about 8 or so minutes long, but he puts a lot of thought and worry into it, and it's just too much for him right at the moment. So I've told him, look, just chill out, take it easy, concentrate on yourself for a while rather than worrying about this show. The show will be here when you get back. But I'd rather him get back than Fun Knife Friday disappear. So that's why we've had a few fill-ins and stuff like that, and I might be filling in a little bit for him on Fun Knife Fridays, but for the most part I've asked Skip to take it easy for a while and just concentrate on getting better. And I think y'all will agree with me. You'd rather see Skip stick around for a while than continue at the pace he was at and not be around next week. So that's where Skip the Show is at right now in Fun Knife Friday. But with that said, Skip had seen the episode about 6 synthetic knife handles, and he really wanted to participate in that. And so I said, well, I tell you what, Skip, pick 3 or 4 knives and I'll round it off with some other knives and we'll call it a day. And he agreed to that, and that's what we'll be doing today. So with that said, let's start taking a look at 6 synthetic knives, most of which were chosen by Skip. But first I'm going to show you one that was not chosen by Skip, and that's because this is my favorite fixed blade knife with a synthetic handle. And it's right here, the Camillus 1013 Yellowstone. It's a nice upswept skinner. See there, it's a sword brand. And about a 5.5 inch blade and a 5-inch handle there, about 10.5 inches overall. Feels really great in the hand, and at first glance you'd say, wow, that's a nice stag handle, but it's not real stag. It's known as India stag when it first came out, and then later they started referring to this as Dura stag. That was the Camillus name for it, but it's basically an imitation stag, and you can definitely tell the imitation part when you see the line running right there on the back. But really pretty knife. Looks like burnt stag. And you also see similar things from Schrade. Schrade called theirs Staglon, and a couple other names have been out there too. I think there's now Rough Riders calling their fake stag Tough Stag, but all sorts of different names for imitation stag, and it's usually a Delrin or some kind of a thermoplastic handle. But there you have my favorite in the imitation handle, or there you have my favorite synthetic handled fixed blade, the Camillus 1013 and India stag, also known as the Yellowstone. Came with a really nice leather sheath too. Okay, that one's done. Let's move on to the next one. This one, if I could do it like Skip did it, it's the High Roller. Yeah, this is one of my favorite knives a long time ago. This is by Blackjack International. I know it's been shown by Skip on numerous occasions, but you don't think of it as a synthetic handle, but come on, think about it a little longer and you realize what you got are 6 plastic dice as a handle. Even the jewel on the back here is synthetic. It's just looks like a ruby, but it's just a clear piece of red plastic on the back there. So definitely a synthetic handle going on there. The High Roller. And that is such a nice little boot dagger. See that? This side is completely flat, and that's the side that lays against your leg in the boot. Yeah, I made the sheath for it. See the A and the J there for just like the Blackjack symbol on there. The 2 dice up on the top. Lucky 7. Yeah, the High Roller. Another classic knife of Fun Knife Friday, and a terrific synthetic handled knife, fixed blade style, the High Roller. Alright, next up is the second knife that I got to choose. I only got to choose 2. The other 4 were already chosen by Skip. I said I'd round it out for him, and this one I think is pretty cool. I think I've only shown it once or so. I don't think Skip ever showed it. That's why I'm breaking it out. I could have shown a bunch of bayonets. They all have plastic handles. Even the ones from the Warsaw Pack, they even have plastic handles on them and stuff. But I wanted to go with something other than some kind of military knife, and that's why I chose this one. This is by K-Bar. Well, not really by K-Bar, but it's by the same company that makes K-Bar, and that is Cutco. This is a Cutco fish knife. It's the pattern number 1763. Look at the wonderful leather sheath that came with this knife. Love this style of sheath. Really well molded too. But if we see right there, see the little fish on there in the pond, and he's been hooked. So he's getting yanked out of the water. You also can barely see up above the fish. There's like a little fuller. There's a little fuller there, which helps you grip it with your hand if you need to. And if you notice, the whole blade is serrated, and that is typical of Cutco knives. Cutco, if you ever got any of their kitchen knives and stuff, they got that nice serration going on. And then the top up here is the fish scaler portion of the blade. Nice and pointy blade too. And if you notice, it's a nice trailing point skinner going on there. So this would make a great camping knife even if it wasn't being used for fishing. And the handle, I think they call it melanite. Whatever that plastic is that Cutco uses for their kitchen knives is the same thing on this knife, except it's a brown swirly plastic going on. You got an aluminum pommel going on, and then a bit of an aluminum guard up there too. And then it just fits the hand beautifully. It's just a wonderful knife. This would be a great camp knife, or just a great fish knife, or also just a good food prep knife in the kitchen. The Cutco's 1763 fish knife. So that's the other one I had to show, but let's go and show the other three knives in this group, and these are all three chosen by Skip. What's the next one? Oh, well, I think you know what the next one is, but it's right about now that Skip would say, well, I wanted to show you my green skull stiletto, but I can't show you that one because it doesn't have a synthetic handle, even though, you know, it's covered in green skulls. And he's right, it doesn't have that's a metal handle, it's not plastic, so nice solid knife, so it's not a synthetic handle on there, so he would not be able to show this one. And he'd also say, and my Escort buoy, I should be able to show you my Escort buoy. But Tobias said no Escort buoys. You know, he'd say something like that and still show you the knife. And he'd say, but look at that. Look at that. Look at that frostwood handle. Are you telling me that's natural? Well, in theory, yeah, I guess you could say it's a resin impregnated handle. So in some ways, it's not completely natural, but I think most people would say the Escort buoy with the frostwood handle doesn't quite fit the category of a true synthetic handle, even if you put the knife in a ratfin sheath. So that's probably what Skip would be doing right about now. But then he would fall back on one of his other old favorites, and a favorite of the Volcano Club, and one of my favorites. Every time I go to the Volcano Club, I am always on the lookout for, you know who, the Cougar. How can you not consider the Cougar as the penultimate resin handle, synthetic handle Bowie knife? This is just a fantastic knife. Yeah, I know, I could have showed you my my case buoy that has that black phenolic handle. I could have showed you a Buck 119 with the phenolic handle, but does that really compare to the Cougar knife? That is one heck of a fantastic knife. And did you know this was actually designed by a U.S. Senator? Yeah, the guy who designed this was actually a U.S. Senator at one time. He's also a Native American, and he designed the Cougar knife. Come on, how many other knives out there can lay claim to being designed by a U.S. Senator? We're talking class here. The Cougar knife. I'm sure this is one that Skip just loves to talk about. I know it because I hear about it all the time. Anyway, let's move on to the other two knives that are over in the Volcano Club and that are very much made of synthetic materials. Now next up is one of my favorite knives over there, and over at the Volcano Club, and I'm kind of upset that it's over there because I'd much rather be over by me, but It's on loan, we'll say that way, because this is still my knife, even though it is over there. It's part of a display that Skip has going on. And it's my Mermaid knife or my Dragon knife, whichever way you want to look at it. And as you can tell, you got this dragon up front, and then some kind of mermaid princess or something. She's got kind of a crown on her head and everything. And I don't know if he's getting ready to devour this mermaid, or if something else is going on. Because if you notice, as you go down the knife, their little tails get intertwined all the way down until you get to this funky looking nautilus like shell thing at the very bottom that is kind of eating into the very bottom of the scabbard here. And also, if you notice, there's this town that is carved in that is also being engulfed by the tails of this dragon and mermaid as they go wrapping around the bottom of the scabbard. And then when you open it up, you got yourself a nice little knife blade there, about 6 or 7 inches long. You got a little brass ferrule holding it in place. I would not say it's the most securely attached blade there, but it's not going to fall off anytime soon, and you could definitely stab or poke with it, which could become problematic. So got to be careful with that, because you could get in trouble, especially if you were outside carrying that around and you weren't allowed to carry a fixed blade, and especially if you weren't allowed to carry a concealed fixed blade, because that could be a deadly weapon for sure. In the meantime, it's just a nice little decorative art piece over there in the Volcano Club, the Mermaid Dragon knife. Now the final knife I'm going to show you is going to be Gris Gris the Gris Gris, but I wanted to show you this. This is the box that he came in, and you notice here pori, whatever pori is, that's what this knife is made out of. It is some kind of synthetic kind of material. I don't know what it is. And if you notice here, warning, keep away from children. So, gotta remember that with Gris Gris the Gris Gris. You just don't want him around children, and that's because children might take him the wrong way and decide to cast an evil spell on somebody. But what we want Gris Gris the Gris Gris to do is bring warm wishes and safe journeys to Skip DeSheau's, so that he can get back with us as soon as possible. That's what we're hoping for Gris Gris the Gris Gris to do. And I can't do it like Skip does, so I'm just going to ask him, can you do that? Can you do some warm wishes for Skip DeSheau's? I think he said yeah. But if you notice here, he's got this dragon down here and these fake jewels on both sides. I'm sorry, precious jewels on both sides. And he is designed after these knives that are made in South America that actually have all sorts of pieces to them. Hold on a sec, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is another one of those knives, but as you can tell here, this is made with an actual shell, and then you've got some different beads that are basically made out of glass. And then you've got some more shells up there. And if you notice down here, this is actually like a goat tooth in there. So where you got molded teeth on Gris Gris, this is an actual tooth that has been put into the handle there. And you got the face that has been kind of molded out of some kind of clay or something. And the whole scabbard has been put together with that. And this was made in back in 1996, if you can see right there. And on this side it says who made it. And you got the face up here also. And if we open it up, you got a blade from Brazil. But this one is a mixture of synthetic materials and natural materials. Whereas Gris Gris the Gris Gris, he is totally made from pori, which is a synthetic material from the Gris Gris, from the Gris Gris gods. So this is a true Gris Gris, Gris Gris the Gris Gris. And so we're going to ask him to bring warm wishes and a speedy recovery to Skip. And with that said, Gris Gris the Gris Gris and I wish you a happy Fun Night Friday, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Really? That's what he did for a show? Man, I had such a much better show that I was going to do, and it even had the Green Skull stiletto in it. Oh, well.
Alright, there you have it, all you knife chatters. Been your old pal, Skip the Show. Another Fun Night Friday in the books. Remember, if your knife's not fun, you're doing it wrong. Skip out.
If your knife's not fun, you're doing it wrong, and Skip out are registered trademarks of Skip the Show Enterprises. This has been a Cat Production presentation. All rights reserved.